Welcome to Between Over and Next with your hosts, Holli and Robert, a happily married couple who explore the space between what was, what is, and what's to come. From career changes to navigating life's uncertainties, this dynamic duo will empower you to live your happiest life at every age and stage. So, get ready because your journey with Holli and Robert starts now.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Between Over and Next. Hi, Holli.
Hi, Robert. Alfred Tennyson said, "I am a part of all that I have met." I think that's an awesome quote. I love quotes.
That's a good one.
I discovered it looking through my high school yearbook. And I thought how appropriate to share that quote with you today because I truly believe that people come into your life for a reason. And every interaction and relationship serves a purpose, whether it be for growth, learning, support, or just simply sharing the moments. And I was thinking about how many networking events we've attended. How many do you think we've attended, Robert?
Oh, hundreds.
So what's interesting in our 33 years together, that most of them that we've attended have been co-ed. There happen to be a number of women-only networking groups that I've been a part of. When we launched Wedding Podcast Network, I've mentioned this on prior episodes about my involvement with an organization at the time that was called Ladies Who Launch, and that was back in 2005. And that was probably the first women's group that I was highly involved with.
Oh, but I was involved with the men's group called Men Who Munch.
I always love when you insert your wit and humor.
Well, it works so well. It works so well. Ladies Who Launch, you know, it's.
I think actually I like that a lot. You do make me laugh,
but
so I love that. As a videographer, you were the president of the North Jersey Videographers Association and spoke across the country, and that kind of group is more of an interest-based group, focused on the world of video, and that was your group. And you actually have lifelong friends from that group.
I do. Even though you would imagine that a business-centric group like that was fairly heavy technical, even though you were recording a soft, warm and fuzzy experience like a wedding, it was very heavy technical, and you would expect there to be all men that are doing that.
For the most part, when I entered it, it was mostly men. There were a few married couples that were in business together.
Yes, but in our group locally, there were a lot of women that were members of our organization. So there was that balance. And I always said that, you know, a woman videographer had an advantage on location because you had the sensibility of the bride. Us men didn't necessarily understand. And I'll never forget one of the very first pieces of criticism, with many more to follow throughout the 30-plus years of me doing weddings. Holli was looking at some of my work, and we were like dating probably not very long, couple of months if at the most, that you saw it and you watched the video and you said, "What about the back of the gown?" And I'm like, "What?" And at that moment, I learned that the back of the gown is as important, if not maybe more important, than the front of the gown. But from that moment on, I learned as a man that who had never worn a wedding gown before or since would not know that. So you had that distinct advantage.
We are fans of networking, the power of relationship, the power of connection. And some of the reasons why we embrace the people that come into our lives is to teach us lessons, to offer support and guidance, to inspire and motivate, to share joy and happiness, to help us heal, to challenge us, to mirror our inner selves, to fulfill a mutual need, to share life's journey, and to serve a greater purpose. So you need to appreciate and value every relationship, every interaction, because it will enrich our lives. The main reason I wanted to talk about networking this morning is because that's how I met today's guest. And when I think about Ladies Who Launched back in 2005, I met Jill Freckman when she was launching Fretzels. Well, when we were launching kind of Pop-Up in 2018, I was introduced to an organization called BIG, which stands for Believe, Inspire, Grow. I was invited by Amy Schenkel in the Montville Pod. I love that. And I used to pod hop. And I have met beautiful, talented, phenomenal women through BIG. I really do believe we are stronger and better together. And I do believe in having a supportive community. And I do believe that there is opportunity and space in our lives to have more friends in life and business. I met Donna at BIG in Montville, and I knew her story, which is full of pivots, would be worthy of sharing on today's episode.
So let's meet Donna.
Hi, Donna.
Hi. So good to be here.
Oh, we're so delighted that you are here with us today to share your story personally and professionally and the lessons you've learned along the way. You became an entrepreneur after a significant life change. Can you share how your divorce at 30 with two very young children, right, 2 and 3 years old, influenced your decision to embrace direct sales, and what steps you took to overcome the initial challenges?
So basically, I think my biggest reason for entering that field of business was my why, my 2 children. I never wanted to go back to work. So when I did get divorced, I had 5 years of alimony. So I knew I had 5 years to get it together and figure something out. Most of the things that I've done in my period of entrepreneurship, which has been 30 years, basically all started with whatever I'm passionate about. So it started with someone sharing a scrapbooking opportunity with me. So I had, at one point in time on a Friday night, I would have 30 women in my house doing scrapbooking, believe it or not. So I was passionate about telling the stories as any good mom would do. So I did, kind of show the whole history of my children. And fast forward, they do have their lives in scrapbook format. From there, I was introduced to Lia Sophia jewelry, which was kind of accidental. I wasn't really passionate about wearing, costume jewelry. I always wore my good stuff. And one of my good girlfriends just encouraged me and said, try this. I'm making good money. And it just caught on like it was magnetized. So for me, I think my experience with the scrapbooking kind of paved the way. And then in getting into the jewelry, I had something that kind of started to get the wheels in motion. It was a product that you could see, you could sell. It was exciting. What we did was we did home parties and the power of one. You would tell one girlfriend, she would have a party, the next person would have a party. And that's kind of how it got legs of its own. I do remember young in the business walking around thinking, who wears that jewelry? And being a stay-at-home mom with little ones, being in the grocery store or whatever, I would notice that women were dolled up. You're wearing costume jewelry right now too. And it makes a woman smile. So who knew? I was on the trajectory of a very successful business. So I was with Lia Sophia for 13 years. So very, very successful.
Well, you've told me that you had a team of 700 women.
Yes.
That was over how many years?
Over 13 years. But I mean, it grew very quickly. I think there were 500 within a couple of years. But it was because of the power of one. Like, I can do this. This is how I do it. Follow me kind of a thing.
You cast the vision.
Yes.
That is an incredible achievement. So what strategies did you use to foster the teamwork and the camaraderie?
We talked about this a little bit before we started, is that don't do as I tell you, do as I do. So anything that I asked anybody to do, I was already doing and demonstrating it. So it was a perfect storm, for lack of better words, because I was at a home party atmosphere and the women would see me and they'd be like, I think I want to do what you're doing. And then I would be very honest with them about how I was earning extra money. I was still home with my children during the day, dance, school, baseball, soccer, running across the field with orange slices and all those things that you do when you have young children at home. And my business was blooming right where I was planted. Whether I was at the ball field or wherever, I was wearing what I did. And it just happened organically. So
share a little bit more about that philosophy.
The authenticity of yourself. And if you're doing something that you love and it really is the truth, you're not swallowing hard when you're sharing about it and people don't believe you, it shines through. And I think that's why I was successful. And the success has continued. Whatever I do, I have to be passionate about.
But I would imagine, though, that there was a bit of, a comfort zone issue with that, because I know that type of business requires that you really live it and that you speak to as many people as you can. And for some people that I know, it comes very easily.
Yes.
Very easy. For others, not so much. So I would imagine that that was a challenge, not maybe for you, but for others that you spoke to.
And we saw women blossom in front of us. You know, knees would knock if they had to speak at a meeting or share their ideas, and their faces would light up, because how many loads of laundry can you do at home and prepare meals? And it's a thankless, glorious position to be a mother, but to be able to shine on stage and get accolades and get paid and contribute to the household, the women did come out of their woodwork.
Financially, you did very well. So can you share a little bit about that growth during your Lia Sophia venture? And what factors do you attribute to your financial success?
I think I had mentioned the power of one. You have one person, and then that person adds a person, and then that person adds a person. It just continues to grow. So network marketing seems to have a bad reputation sometimes, but it really is just sharing and paying forward what you believe in. So because we were a home party atmosphere, you had a lot of ladies there in front of you at the same time. It wasn't true network marketing where you were hitting the phones and bothering your friends and family to try a new skin cream or something. Basically, you had that audience, and they were trying on the jewelry, and they liked it, and it just kind of prospered. You know, we were having snacks, looking at decorating ideas, meeting new women. They already liked you, so you were introduced to the next person who wanted to have a party or who wanted to maybe do the business. So they were checking you out while you were checking them out, literally, you know, doing the sales. Mm-hmm. So it was really a perfect scenario. Whether that jewelry, you know, scenario would work as much today since COVID, but it was a blessing to me in seeing the personal growth within myself and the girls on my team. We're all a sisterhood. We're all still very close today as well.
Well, Donna's being a little modest because she grew her business from $25,000 in year one to $148,000. So that allowed you to help pay for your house.
Right.
Right? And as a single mom.
Yes.
And you must have had some financial goals during that period.
I made a lot more than that in years to come. So it was funny, when I first started, I had made $25,000, I believe, in like the first 3 months. And I shook hands with the owner. We were on an incentive trip. And he said, plan on quadrupling your income next year. And I came back and I think I said, oh, he's crazy. And it happened. And then it happened again. And it stayed steadfast for 10 years. I would still be doing that business if they didn't change hands and close up and move on to another entrepreneurial thing that they did as a family. But it was such a blessing to my family. And it also mirrored business skills to my children. They're both entrepreneurs today. They saw me, whether they were stamping catalogs or talking to some lady in the grocery store. They knew that I was home with them. So they both have that type of spirit as well now, too.
What advice would you give others that are striving for financial independence?
Do what you love and the money will come. I mean, I know that sounds really cliche.
It's true.
But I have
to
say,
it over and over
do
again.
what you love, and enough people will catch on. I mean, not everybody likes jewelry. Whatever your home-based business opportunity is. Of course, now with the information highway at our fingertips and social media, it's anybody's game. You don't need a storefront to be in business, which is marvelous.
I think with direct sales, it really depends on the company that you are aligned with. Because there is a lot of opportunity out there. Like you said before, it definitely has a bad rap. We were involved in network marketing with Isogenics, and I still strongly believe in the products, and I strongly believe in good health. And I do believe that sharing it makes sense. I mean, why wouldn't I? I would share my hairstylist. I'd share my manicurist. I'd share any of the services of the people that I love.
Oh, sure.
So whether it be products or services. So you had the scrapbooking was direct sales, and Lia Sophia. Were there any other direct sales businesses?
Yes, I briefly sold a skincare, Nerium, so I still use the under eye cream. And then, of course, Color Street, which I've been doing since 2016, so I am still a director with them. But I like to see what I can sell. And the home party seems to be what the difference is between network marketing and direct sales. The home party, you have your captive audience, and it's a pre-qualified lead because your friend who's hosting the show is inviting her friends, and you're an invited guest. I honestly feel bad if somebody doesn't catch on to what I'm doing, because if it's changing my life, so you have to kind of know how to direct it to her.
Well, I got to meet people where they're at. But the thing is that...
And the group dynamic, though, works, because when you see people buying and having fun and enjoying, other people and say,
Say,
I
that
want to
looks
do
so
that
pretty
too.
on you.
Yeah.
Well, tell everyone about your
Smart.
success with Color Street, though, because that's when we met.
So yeah, this is Color Street. So I had a rough patch in my life. I did have a bad relationship, and I was not married to this gentleman, but it ended pretty erratically, and I had a rough period because I was mourning a relationship, and I started this nail business, and I called it Donna to Press On. So more than pressing on the nails, pressing on with yourself, whether you got to get yourself out of bed, take that first step, ask that first person, put these pretty little nails on somebody maybe who's not having a pretty day, or that could look down at her pretty toes and feel good about herself, because women need to feel good. Let's face it, not everybody at the end of the day gives you a Hail Mary and says, you did a great job folding those underwear, Mom, So that to me was perfect. It was nail jewelry. So it kind of replaced what I was doing already, helping people sparkle and shine. So I still do it. I still have a team of ladies, and we still love it. And it's easy. If somebody says to me, I love your nails, I can whip them out and sample them, in a bar or in a car or wherever. So
That's awesome.
seems to be the main thread with whatever I do in my life as an entrepreneur. It has to fit in around my family, has to be something I can share across the table, which leads to the other things that I'm doing in my life now. But I have to have something that's just a natural share, and then I feel authentic about sharing.
It's also very niche because it is the target audience for the most part is women,
Correct.
and it's relatable
Yeah.
for them. You have a solution for them, right? Whether it's to
The
save
number
time
one-
and money.
Number one nail polish now. And
That's-
during COVID, I promoted to executive director because we had no place to get our nails done.
But that translated financially too for you.
Yeah, but we pivoted big time because we were doing Zooms. We kept busy. It kept you from realizing what was really going on in the world.
Right.
We need to have a little piece of ourselves there. So that was a big pivot and carving out something from a disastrous time.
What's really cool about being in your own business is that you can do it full time, or you could do it as a side hustle.
Nooks and crannies.
So tell people what you mean by that.
So, if you need to be at your kid's baseball game, or you want to be out in the sunshine and take a hike or a walk, you can do those things, and you can work at night. If you're a night owl, you want to work at night. I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning in the spring and summer and just get it done so that you can enjoy what you really want to do. You don't want to really be strapped to a desk and to someone else's dreams and goals. You can set your own.
I think also it's an opportunity even for those in our chapter of our lives that are looking to do something new and fresh, to explore other opportunities and to surround themselves with like-minded people.
Yes, and it doesn't have to be direct sales because I got my real estate license right before COVID.
So tell us about that.
So I'm 60 years old now and downsizing, children leave the nest. I was upset. My daughter won a modeling competition and she relocated to Chicago. And then my son told me that he bought a condo. And I said, why? It's so beautiful here. Why? He's like, Mom, you should be happy. I'm like, well, I am, but I'm not. Because now what am I going to do?
How old are your kids?
So they're 29 and 30. So they're both gainfully employed and have flocked the nest and very happy and entrepreneurs and always wheels spinning in the head with things that they're doing as well. So I feel like I did a really wonderful job as a single mom. So I did get my real estate license to sell my own home, because I feel like if I'm going to do something, I got to know it. So I'm helping local people find their homes and always looking myself too.
And it's a people business.
It is. And
And
it's
there's-
a life skill too.
It is a life skill. Have you learned any lessons through your real estate experience?
Oh, lots. Yeah, of course. Real estate has its own set of rules. Buyers are liars and whatever. And I'm a liar too because I sold my house and then I decided I wanted to stay. And that's where the magazine came into place. I really believe there's divine order. Things just unfold the way they're supposed to if you let them.
Trust the
Something
universe.
comes, let it come. If it goes, let it go. It's taken me a long time to say that, but it's true. We hold on so tightly, and that's the beautiful thing in life. When you're on the floor and you're figuring it out, that's when the growth happens.
Robert just said, trust the universe. So
Yeah.
you did just share that you are now in publishing. And you have a fabulous magazine called Pequannock Magazine, which is in the area of where you live. You handle everything from sales to advertising to editorial. So what inspired you to take on this role? Because this is different than anything else you've ever done.
Correct. Just how it all happened is pretty interesting because as we scroll through Indeed, there was a position open in another town. And I interviewed. Of course, they hired me, but they wanted me to do a different town. They wanted me to do Kinnelon, New Jersey, which is a few towns up from where I am. I know nothing about that town. So it would have been getting knee deep in who's who. So I respectfully declined. I said, I'm really passionate about my own town. And they had promised me if I started with that town, I could move into the next, into my own. And they said that I was just so believable.
You're a go-getter.
I knew I could do it. And they gave me my own town, Pompton Plains. And it's wonderful.
It's exciting.
Yeah,
That's
so
very
I
exciting.
feel like all the people that I've known, all the moms, dads, all the stories are coming out. It's giving back to the community, which is something that I'm very passionate about. And it's also it's sales, it's editorial, hiring and creating the storylines, the photographers. And I have a really great group of people who showed up also. So a lot of prayers in that too, because it's a lot to have to potentially write the articles and find the right people. And the creative team that I've come up with, along with our home office, we also represent Wainscott Publishing. So it's Bergen Magazine, Morrison Essex, New Jersey Home, and a myriad of other publications. So we have a whole staff at the home office who make these beautiful creations. But the people local who want to write and tell their stories are so wonderful. And they thank me for letting them shine, which, we talked about earlier, like everyone has a story. It's so easy to look at someone and go, well, she got this, or she got in that early, or she this. There's blood, sweat, and tears behind the curtain, as I'm sure you guys know too, that go into it.
So this is a print-only magazine, or there's an online component as well?
It's digital as well. So the link is shared, which is nice too, because as I feature each of the stories, I can feature them in Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and then I can share the digital link, and then it goes even further beyond. People who've moved out of the area want the magazine, so this way they can view it online digitally as well.
So between Wainscott and what you're involved in, what is the buzz around AI behind the scenes?
Makes me a little nervous, although I did just attend a Chamber of Commerce meeting, and the president spoke on it, and he said, ask it any question, and he went in and spoke about something he was working on, and it said, how'd you make out at your appointment the other day? It was like talking to a friend. Mm-hmm. So I said, give it to me. I just pretended like I just started a magazine, and it said, make a list, do this. It itemized every single thing that I did when I started my magazine, whereas years ago, we went and did microfiche and the encyclopedias and the librarian and all that fun stuff. It's overwhelming that this information is right at your fingertips.
One of the things that comes up all the time when we speak to those who live an entrepreneurial lifestyle, because that's really how we refer to it. It's not being an entrepreneur. You live a lifestyle of an entrepreneur.
Correct.
I always say a true entrepreneur takes a big bite and then figures out how to chew. And when you make major pivots, like you've done, right, now that you're a publisher, and we were saying earlier that you can do every single job, right? You can step in to do any one of those components.
I've gone out with the photographer. I've gotten the consents. I know every step of everything because I need to know what they're doing.
To me, that's instinctual. You could probably not do it any other way. You could probably not be comfortable, because I know I couldn't. Everything that I talk about doing, I can do.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about that. Where did that come from in you? Did you model that from someone who in your life do you think influenced you the most to become this person who you are?
I guess my mother and my grandmother. My grandmother owned a saloon. She owned a tavern.
That's cool.
So, we've had businesses in our family. We just have a get up and get it done kind of mentality. If you're going to show somebody how to do something, what better way to do it than to do it yourself and tweak it first than to correct someone? So, this is how I've done it, or just I've always made notes and instructions and showed the way. I guess it's my personality too. I'm a Capricorn. I'm a, make the bed every day kind of person and do it now. And years ago, I took a class, I think it was 100% rule. And it's like, if the phone bill comes in, don't put it there, move it over here, and then move it over there. Pay it and file it. Stop looking at it. You know what I'm saying? So just do it. Just do it and move on to the next thing, because tomorrow might be a rainy day or a sunny day. Maybe you want to do something else.
There are words that come up a lot as an entrepreneur. Resilience, grit, adaptability, change, self-belief. Share your thoughts on those words and how they matter in your day-to-day life.
Well, I have my doubts sometimes too. Don't we all have our bad days? But I think where there's a will, there's a way. I think that was a report I did in 4th grade. It's so funny that just came in my head. But everything's figure-outable. There is a way to do it. So sometimes maybe it's not the straight line. I mean, God has taken me around the block a few times before I learned a few lessons. But eventually, it all the puzzle pieces fit into place.
You may not understand it while it's happening.
Right.
But
Right.
when you look at it, when you get to that 1,000-foot level, it makes sense.
Right.
Because
When you look
sometimes you're
back.
too close to it to be able to see it when it's
I
happening.
think the biggest lesson for me too is like worry. When I look back now at when I did go through a divorce and I cried myself to sleep for a long time. How am I going to do this? How am I going to keep this house? Why did you put me here? How am I going to do this? And then one step at a time, things fell into place. And I look back now, 60 years young, and I go, all those things that you worry about don't come to fruition.
Right.
You know, that's a lesson for anybody in any aspect of life. They say worry is a rocking chair. It never gets you anywhere.
That's
It's
a
so
great
true.
quote.
It's so true.
It is so true. But as 60-year-olds, we know better
Yeah.
because we can reflect and we can remember those moments that we had to get through.
Yeah.
And we did. And that's a good part about getting older.
Well, it's a journey. My other thing that I kind of remind myself is always a no if you don't ask. So
Sound
try.
familiar?
Mm.
Familiar?
Try it. I hike now, bike, pickleball. Life's like an adventure. I've said to my 2 children, wow, you had a nice life here.
It's so important to really connect with what matters to you in your life or to explore new things and opportunities.
Absolutely.
So
Have some fun.
That's right.
that's the most important message of all.
Yeah.
Have fun and surround yourself with others
Like-minded individuals, too, is very important.
because there are a lot of people that can bring you down.
They call the hikers the tree huggers. And you can just feel somebody's energy now. And I'm just like, oh, boy, this is not going to go well. And I walk faster than in the hiking, so they can't talk.
And we also learn how valuable time is. When you're young, you think that time is just infinite.
Yeah.
It'll always be there. And now as we get older, we realize that we want to spend our time wisely
Yeah.
with those who deserve to have that and those that give that energy back in the right way.
Well, you said your kids are your why. So right now, tell your kids what you want for them.
And happiness, just happiness. And that they feel that they belong in the world and they're in the right spot and that can pay it forward and love others and pass on the good that they have. Say I
Yeah,
love
of
you
course.
all the time, my kids and I. And I love that they like me. I love that they like me.
I don't know.
They
Is
do
this,
like
you
me.
think, the Capricorn thing, Robert? Because everything Don is saying is my mantra, too. I feel like and love, they're different. We're going to love our children unconditionally.
Right.
But like factor and being mentors, I mean, they're watching all the time. And that's a good thing because we're proud of what we do. So what would you say is the most rewarding part of your journey?
Being a mother, watching what's happened with them. They're adults now and just seeing the way they behave in crazy scenarios or just they're loving their hearts, just seeing that. It's really nice to step back. Especially as a single mom, you just wonder, am I doing things right? It all pays off in the long run.
It's so true. So what's next
I don't know.
for Donna?
I always say it has to fit in around faith, family, my lifestyle. I've never worked for an organization. So working for a publisher, I do work for an organization. And I asked one day, I'd like to take the afternoon off. It's beautiful out and I want to be able to, I want to post the pictures after. And my group publisher said, Donna, you can do whatever you want. I know what you're doing. You're getting it done, which was nice. So I am working for someone, but I am also still that entrepreneur, as you guys said. So you can work on a rainy day and you can, go out and enjoy why you work this hard.
Exactly.
No, play hard, work hard. It's all about balance. So what do you think the next 10, 20 years looks like, though, for you personally and
I
professionally?
don't know. I'm single, so I don't know. That's another whole podcast in itself. Being single is a nightmare.
So what would you want in that?
A normal human being.
And what does normal mean?
Very like-minded, finding somebody like yourself. So it's a needle in a haystack. But I don't know if that would complete me either. I'm perfectly fine on my own also. But just enjoying life, enjoying my children and, traveling and whatever comes next. It always comes organically. So I don't know.
The door is always open.
It is. And that's the way it should be. There
That's-
is no straight line.
That's what's so exciting about this life. If more people really tuned into that, boy, what a happy place we would be living in.
That's for sure.
You do have to let it go. We could sing that song.
Yeah.
Now it's going to be in my head.
Right.
Maybe you can put it on. Let it go. Let it go.
But we do. We seem to think there's only one right answer, and there isn't. There are multiple.
Yeah. No, it's an excellent point.
You got to trust your heart.
Yeah, that too. That's true. If something feels funny, it's usually off.
Yeah.
The heart and the stomach are connected. I didn't learn that till very late in life. They should teach you that in school.
There's a lot we didn't learn in school, including entrepreneurship, including direct sales, including a lot of what happens between over and next.
Yeah. Well, I can give you one last story. My daughter had a broken engagement, and little did I know, she went online and entered a plus-size modeling competition as a size 12 young lady, and she won. So she was Miss Fabulous for a year, and it helped her to heal. And then the owner of the company, MacDougall, asked her to come and relocate to Chicago. And I said, you should go, do it for 4 years, treat it as a college education. She went, she's still there, and she's now director of operations. No education.
Wow.
They adore her because she just is kind, loving. Her platform was everybody deserves to be beautiful no matter what size you are, and that's why she won. But it's just, the universe delivers.
But you also instilled that belief in her. She learned more about herself going through that broken engagement. Just by the way, you may or may not know this, but Robert and I both had engagements that were broken in our early 20s to different people.
Yeah, and that's hard.
And at the time, we were planning weddings and we broke off weddings and gave back rings. It's easier to talk about it than what was really happening at the time.
Oh, sure.
And
because
then,
look who you ended up with.
And I couldn't be happier.
Your love story is very cute. I've watched you.
Well, thank you, Donna. We appreciate you sharing your story personally and professionally. We only wish you the absolute best today, tomorrow, and always.
Thank you. Thank you.
Donna's smile is contagious, Robert. She is full of joy. She is such a proud mama, something I so relate to. She is such a hard worker and a bright light. And I'm so grateful she shared her story today because I really do believe that this can help inspire others while they're on their journey. I met her at this organization called Big, and we were launching Can It Pop Up. But at the same time, we were also involved with direct sales with Isogenics. Mm-hmm. Donna said this during our talk, is that direct sales has a bad rap. And I really do believe it's the company you're aligned with, what their vision and mission is, their values are, and what their compensation plan is. But I will say the other main umbrella term is called network marketing. And we were talking about networking earlier, and that is a lot of what direct sales is. And I believe it should be a course in school. It is another entrepreneurial opportunity where you can learn a lot about yourself and others. And it's not icky if you lock arms with the right people. The cool thing about network marketing is it could be a side hustle if you want to make some extra money. Mm-hmm. It could be your main gig if you really want to dedicate the time to doing that and cultivating the business, because it does become your own business.
Oh, yeah.
And the other perk of it is residual income. So there are good things about direct sales and network marketing. The only thing is you just got to do your homework. You got to make sure you're aligned with the right company, ultimately.
Listen, it's obvious whatever Donna talked about and was discussing, and this holds true for everyone that we interview on Between Over and Next. We're not interviewing superheroes with extraordinary power, right? These are real, regular people who are doing things because they're dedicated and driven and determined. And everyone is capable of that kind of drive. And I think when you find the right thing for you, that enthusiasm, that energy, that drive will be there.
Okay, so that is the perfect segue into what I want to share, because what I thought was so cool the whole time we're talking to Donna is when she said she's a Capricorn. So her birthday is December 30th, and she just turned 60. I'm only a year older, and I'm the first day of Capricorn because Capricorn is December 22 to January 19. I looked up what the following traits are of a Capricorn because I felt we had so much in common. And that's part of why we like each other, we respect each other, and we really are friends now. We may not see each other a lot or talk to each other a lot. We're both busy with our own lives, but we are so similar. So here are some of the traits, positive traits. I'm not going to focus on the negative because, by the way, one of the negative one was...
You have negative traits?
Capricorns have negative traits.
Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah, well, there were a few listed, but I only am going to say one because Robert's going to agree with this one. So I might as well get it out of the way.
Okay.
I'm overly serious.
Yes.
I am as literal as you can be. So I am now going to shift between over and next.
Which makes it challenging for me, who possesses an incredible wit, and a lot of it just falls
over
dead.
My head. Okay, listen.
Because I got to explain that was a joke.
The positive traits: ambitious, disciplined, responsible, practical, patient, wise, hardworking. That's overall life positive traits. And then you have in career leadership, excelling in their organizational skills and problem-solving skills, and are very ethical. They value integrity and are often seen as trustworthy colleagues. I think Donna, like myself, very self-motivated, very positive, very optimistic. I'm not saying all Capricorns are this way, but I'm telling you, Donna and I share these traits. And what I think is really cool and an important part of the lessons we learned today is having an attitude of gratitude. While we're recording, Donna's phone alarm goes off. It's 1:11 p.m. I said, why is that going off? She said it is to stop and count her blessings and to reflect on the day and what really matters most. I think that's an awesome thing to do. So I'm going to encourage you to set your alarm at 1:11 and importantly, be present. That is a wonderful tip and tool.
I think it is, but I have to tell you that I cannot undertake another timed alarm for time of day action than I already have. So if you want to lump that mindfulness in at 4:20 along with our kiss, that's terrific, but I'm not taking on another daily obligation.
Okay, first of all, not everybody knows about our daily habit. That's okay. 4:20 be our attitude of gratitude.
That's what I'm saying. If you want to piggyback
our time is 4:20. I like that.
Okay.
I love our 4:20.
Great.
We will do an episode about 4:20. Stay tuned. I just want to do a little show and tell. I want to showcase the magazine that Donna is the editor and publisher. And inside this magazine is all about meeting the team. Robert, I was skimming through the magazine, and I just want to show you how it ends because this is one of your favorite things. And the last article in here is called We're Not Just Pizza. So we're going to end up doing an episode on pizza too. All right?
Could we do that on the road?
Oh, definitely. I love that idea. Okay. So this is the Pequannock and Pompton Plains edition of the magazine that Donna is leading.
For those of
Yay,
you,
Donna.
And for those of you who are just listening, you'll need to hop over to YouTube. And if you're on our website, you'll see it right in the show notes there. So you could see the visuals that we're showing.
The other thing I want to share with you is we were both featured in this book, The Stories of Women Who Believe, Inspire, Grow. And this was published in 2019, only a year after I was involved with the BIG, Believe, Inspire, Grow Empowerment Organization. I am very proud that I'm in this book. Donna is also in this book, so I want to show you a couple of those pages. The first person I'm going to show is the photographer, because Carly Storm is an extraordinary talent. And a number of the photographs on our website at hollyandrobert.com were shot by Carly. So thank you, Carly Storm, for your beautiful artistry. And she was the photographer of all of the women in this book. It was a fun photo shoot, and Robert and I actually got to take some photos together. Then, okay, we have me. So I was featured in this book, and Carly took that photo. I love it. And I really love the layout and the format of this book. Then we have our beautiful Donna. And she was featured in this book. And like she said, her philosophy is bloom where you are planted. I just want to show one more beautiful friend in my life. She is the host of Picture Love. And it is my friend Chris LaDon. And we were on her podcast, Picture Love. And we are forever friends. I saw one other thing that made me think of this episode. Today it came up on Instagram, Sarah Blakely, and many of you may know her of the Spanx empire. And she's drinking from a mug. And on the mug it says, one day you will tell your story of how you've overcome what you are going through now. And it will become part of someone else's survival guide. So I really hope that the stories we're sharing on Between Over and Next help guide others to their next big thing.
Thank you to Donna, and thank you to all of you for listening to Between Over and Next, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in to Between Over and Next. We hope you enjoyed this episode and found it meaningful and insightful.
If you value it to be worthwhile, please share it with your friends and family.
We would really appreciate it if you could take a moment to write a review for us. Your feedback will help us continue to create content that resonates with you.
And don't forget, in the show notes, you can find all the relevant links mentioned in this episode, from accessing free downloads to visiting our website and more.
If you have any questions or comments, we would love to hear from you. Simply send us an email. Our email address is hello@hollyandrobert.com. We're always excited to connect with our listeners.
So until next time, thank you again for joining us on Between Over and Next.
Thank you for listening to Between Over and Next, the podcast that navigates the twists and turns of life with courage, laughter, and a whole lot of inspiration. Tune in every Tuesday to hang out with Holli and Robert on your favorite podcast platform. Visit hollyandrobert.com and follow them on social media to ignite your passion and fuel your dreams.